Hey Rogettes, I look horrible. I just came from work and I was like, you know what? I need to get this Thanksgiving look out. Trying to find my hair tie and I obviously found it. Just gonna pin it back and start. But not before I point out the little Joe on my face. I am using something new today. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation in 240. Gonna give you a review on this after I've tried it for a little bit longer. I'm just substituting this for my usual pick, which is the Laura Mercier Smooth Finish Flawless Fluid, I think is what it is, in Chai. Gonna just put it on the back of my hand and of course use the Beauty Blender to apply it to my skin. And I'm trying to figure out some music to play because you gotta get in the mood. So I'm going ahead and just grabbing that from the back of my hand and applying it to my face. And of course, you're just gonna dab, dab, dab everywhere, lightly bouncing it. You don't want to rub, keep it in mind. No rubbing. And apparently some of it got in my mouth. It does not taste good. Just grabbing more from the bottle, just some the nozzle, I guess that's what you would call it, the opening, something, and just grabbing that with a Beauty Blender and applying it to my nose and my forehead, but I needed some more. And again, just dab, dab, dab on the forehead. I like to push it back into my hairline just so it looks a bit more natural. You should too, because it looks amazing. And of course I'm going to drag it down to my neck just to make the foundation blend a little better with my skin. And of course, fixing the mess that's on top of my head. Next thing I'm going to do is go for the eyebrows. If you haven't seen my last video, go ahead and do so. I use the Smashbox in brown, I believe. I'll list everything down below, all the products I use. And here's when I remember that I completely forgot to put primer on my face. And moving on ahead, we're going to go ahead and skip forward and start on the eyes. Before then, of course, you already know, if you see my last video actually, I love this lotion. And I don't know why. It's like a habit, I have to lotion up my hands. And it smells amazing. And here we are starting with, this is a very, very old MAC brush from like 7, maybe more years ago. To the point, it's so worn out that the letterings don't even show. But I'm going to use that brush with BH Cosmetics from a neutral palette. The downside to this is that they do not name their eyeshadows, but it's a very light, neutral, kind of creamy, matte-ish eyeshadow. And I'm just taking that from the lid all the way up to the brow, just as a base, since I did not use a eyeshadow primer on my lids. And the same with the other eye. And in this tutorial, I'm just going to do one eye and then finish the other one later and come back and finish the rest of it, the rest of my face. So just keep that in mind. And then with that orange from the same palette, I am going to be taking a blending brush from BH Cosmetics as well. Put that on the brush and then rub it just gonna build it up lightly. And of course, blend, blend, blend. And the technique I'm basically using, I mean, I'm not good at this. I'm learning as you guys, but I basically do outer corner, windshield wipe, inner corner, and when I go to either corners, inner or outer, I do small circles, and then just blend it into the other side. And then this palette, man, Emily and I have been just trying to find out where this little trio is from. I've had it for so many years, but these colors are amazingly pigmented. And I am just in love lately with burnt oranges, and this one just had a really, really beautiful one that I've been wanting to use. And the brush I used for that one is the e.l.f. Cosmetics. Oh no, I lied. It is not the e.l.f. Cosmetics. So what am I talking about? It's another one from the MAC line that I had from all those years ago. 164S, I believe. I don't know. It's completely, again, ripped off, as you can see in the video. It is time to get me some new brushes. And I'm just using that color, same thing in the crease now, and same technique. Circle on the outer corner, windshield wipe, and then circle on the inner corner. Then I'm going to go back with the original Beach Cosmetic Fluffy brush and then blend that out into the other orange color that we used before, just so all the lines are nice and smooth. No harsh lines, that's the rule. And then of course going back in just to make sure you can build that color up a little bit more. If you're wondering who I'm talking to, it's the infamous Emily, always next to me. And then as you see, going right back into that lighter orange in the Beach Cosmetic Neutral Palette, just because that darker orange from the trio kind of made it a little bit dark, and I want to still keep it light and warm on top. And of course, my new baby, well, not really new, I've had it for a while. It is the Kat Von D Monarch, and I'm going in with that really dark, burnt, kind of, I guess it kind of has a brownish, reddish undertone to it. And it is called, no lie, Deadhead. Putting that in directly into the crease, and I'm using this time, it is actually the e.l.f. contour brush. But you know what? There are no rules in makeup, and this baby works for what I was trying to accomplish. And just putting that in lightly, not taking it all the way into the inner corner, just kind of stopping right before you hit it. I just wanted to create a more defined crease. And then the other brush was the other MAC that we used before, but the name is completely gone. And just using that kind of to blend a little bit better. Obviously I wasn't doing a good job, so I went back to the Beach Cosmetic Fluffy brush and blending that, making sure all the lines are nice and smooth, no harsh lines, everything's nice and blended. Here we're going with the Lorac Pro palette, and we're using Sable. It's beautiful, it really is. I was trying to decide which brown to use for this look, and I believe we swatched like 4 or 5 to see which would go well, and this one won. The brush I'm using for that is again from my MAC collection from very, very long ago. 166 And then that we're just kind of keeping outer V and dragging it a little bit into, like right into the middle of your crease, and then stopping. Right now, to kind of blend that a little bit but not too much, I'm taking the e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush and kind of just buffing that out a little bit. Be careful not to go up into the upper crease at all, just kind of keep it right where it's at. And don't drag it too far down into your lid. And then right here, it is another BH Cosmetics brush. Kind of like a tapered, basically a tapered blending brush. And then just using that because it's more precise, right where we put Sable in, and just kind of blending a little bit more. This look requires a lot of blending, so be patient, take your time. You don't want to rush because it'll get muddy and it won't look great. Going back in to that same orange we originally used as a transition color, putting it just one more layer. I want to make sure it stays there. All the blending can sometimes rub it off or rub the darker oranges into it, so. And the same here from the Trio palette, putting that right back in, right above the crease. Here, this is a Maybelline. No, it's not. I lied. What am I talking about? This is actually the same small, somewhat pencil brush from the matte collection we were just using to apply Sable with. We're going to go back in and do Espresso from the Lorac Pro palette. And this is just to darken up a little bit right on the outside. It seems like I'm using a lot of colors, but I'm not. Honestly, we're sticking to just oranges and just blending the same colors back into the crease to create that flawless transition. And then right here, I forgot to show you guys. I believe I'm using the Makeup Geek Precision, like tapered blending brush to blend in Espresso a little bit better. Then I'm going back with our original brush that we used at the very, very beginning. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on directly on the lid to lighten it up a little bit. I decided to go with the Trio one. I'm not sure what the name of that is, but it didn't work out. I wanted to be a little bit lighter, so I went into the Lorac Pro palette and used Cream, I believe, and put that in there. I did change the brush. Went with another e.l.f. An e.l.f. brush from their $1 line and put that right on the lid as well. Use that to put the eyeshadow on the lid. And back to the BH Cosmetics blending brush, the fluffy brush, and blending that out. Making sure the lines are nice and smooth. Gonna go in with a highlighter. I'm going into the same Kat Von D Monarch Palette and using, what is the name of that one? Etymology. So fancy. And I just realized I had all this eyeshadow all over my hands. I accidentally scraped one of the black eyeshadows in the palette. And with that, I believe I'm using another e.l.f. brush from the $1 line. Actually, it's the eyeshadow brush, that's what it's called. It's like a flat shader brush, to be honest. Nothing fancy. It's just what was there and I picked it up. I'm going to go ahead and conceal/highlight my under eye because I have not done that yet. I just did my foundation and eyebrows. I'm going into the eyeshadow look and just putting that right underneath the eye. Careful not I'm gonna do the same with the other side. And again, if you haven't done so, go check out mine and Emily's daily face routine. We put what we do daily for foundation, our concealers, our highlight, everything. So I'm not gonna go too much into this. The only thing different from this video and that one is in this one I am also using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. And then with the butt of the beauty blender, that's what I like to call it, I'm gonna dab, bounce, whatever you want to call it, the concealer out, and then using the axis on there to kind of highlight the top of my It didn't conceal too much. Keep in mind, I've been up since 3:30 in the morning, and I came home to film this, so I was extremely tired. Here I'm gonna set the under eye with my Too Faced, what is it called? I'm gonna go grab it out right now. My Too Faced Cocoa Powder Foundation in medium tan, and with that I'm using the e.l.f. blush brush, which works amazingly well for setting your under eyes. I'm not lying. Go and get yourself one. It is really good. And then here I'm using the Calvin Klein mascara in just black, literally says black. And doing that for my under eyes and my top lashes, but that's not the only concealer I'm gonna do. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Why did I say concealer? I didn't say concealer, I meant mascara. That's not the only mascara I'm gonna use, but you'll see a little later. I just remember that I wanted to smoke out my under eye, and I'm using the color from the Kat Von D palette. Deadhead? What is it called again? It is Deadhead. These names, I swear. I'm just using that to smoke it out. I wanted to go a little bit darker, so I went into the Lorac palette and got Espresso, and then used that one pencil brush we used earlier for the outer V, and put that right underneath, right on top of the burnt orange we just used. Careful not to get in your eye. I do that all the time. Never fails. And then just smoke. Now if you're gonna do this for your under eyes, you want to always make sure you are coating your bottom lashes with mascara. Always do that. And here you see I'm going to go ahead and do it, and then do my top lashes. When I come back, I will have the other eye finished, and we'll go into the rest of the look, which is lips and coating your lashes again and everything else. You'll see, I'm not going to spoil it for you. And there I go, bam, like magic. And then here I'm showing you my eyeliner gel from MAC in black, and using a BH Cosmetics, I believe. Yes, it is. BH Cosmetic eyeliner brush. It's called something, but I'll label it down below in the description box. And I was attempting to do a wing liner the other night. I was practicing this. It did come out really, really pretty. Today, not so much, so I kept it simple. Just went ahead and lined the top lid very, very lightly. Nothing fancy, no giant flare at the end of it. Just a small little wing. As you can see, I'm over here struggling because this eye is always the hardest for me to do. And yes, I know, it's horrible to pull your eye, but it works for me. I try not to. No, you don't have to use a gel liner for this. You can do a, what are they called? You can use an eyeshadow. Go ahead and wet it and put it on there. You can do a felt tip, liquid liner, anything. No rules, again. You can take this look and customize it to whatever you want. I'm going to do the same to the other eye. This eye's a little bit easier for me. I don't feel as much. go back to their side because it just wasn't dark enough. This is what we're using for the inner corners. This was from our latest haul Emily and I did. It is the Color Tattoo Pure Pigments, and this one is in somewhere. It's a copper. It's a really beautiful metallic copper. And I'm just using this, here you go, with our Maybelline brush. I know it's Maybelline, the name came off. Just a small little precision brush, and dipping this into the cap because there's some pigment residue there, and just putting that into my inner corner, dragging it a little bit up into the eyeshadow, and then into where we smudged the orange and the espresso on our lower lash line, just to give it a little pop of something. And here I'm just using the Too Faced powder to kind of dust a little bit over. Here I'm using my Marc Jacobs bronzer to contour my face. And an angled brush, people. It's an angled brush. It's the 162S, and the Marc Jacobs bronzer is in Tantric, 102 Tantric. Doing this from the upper part of my ear going down to the corner of my mouth, obviously not going directly and connecting, just stopping a little bit midway through. And the brush I'm using is from MAC, if you guys are wondering. Did I mention that? Again, I'll put everything down in the description box. With the contour, you want to make sure that if you're going to contour your cheeks, you have to even it out, balance your face out. So not only are you doing your cheeks, you want to do up into your temples, your forehead, and then brushing it into your hairline and buffing out what you did on your cheeks. Unless you want a really precise cut, then go for it. I like to do my jawline as well. And then for blush, what I'm currently in love with for the winter and fall is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Blush in Warm Chod. And I'm also taking a MAC brush. It's actually a powder brush, but I use it for blush. I don't have the number here. Again. Oh wait, I do. 161S. And then here, one of my other babies that I'm super, super happy to have. It is my Becca highlighter in Opal. And I'm taking an e.l.f. stippling brush. I know, I don't think you're supposed to use stippling brush for highlighter, but you know what? I use it and it works amazingly well. It's the e.l.f. small stipple brush, putting that right on the hides of my cheekbones. Then again, taking another e.l.f. the complexion brush and blending the blush, contour, and highlighter. And then here I'm going to do my lips beforehand. I'm going to prep them again. I did prep them earlier before I started the tutorial. But if you don't know, check out our haul. We got this as well. It's our soft lips balm. Mine is in mint, I believe. And I have to say, I'm really liking this. I've been using this instead of the EOS ones that we usually do. And then for my lips, sorry that I got out of the frame a little bit, I am using Chili from MAC. It's just amazing. It's kind of a, not really, I mean it's a red, but it's like an orangey. It's just beautiful. If you don't have this. This works for any skin tone. Emily has the same one as I do. It looks beautiful on her. And I'm just readjusting. And then this is the part I told you, not only are we using the Calvin Klein, I like to, yes, layer my lashes, just because I've come to find the Calvin Klein is an amazing, amazing mascara for lengthening and separating, and it really gives you that like individual lash look. But the Too Faced, oh my god, this thing thickens them and just makes them darker. I can't even explain it. It's just beautiful. Like I have to use this, even if I use the Calvin Klein one. And I'm just putting that on both lashes, and here we go is the finished look. Just taking down my hair, crazy curls and showing you the finished product. This is a look you can use for the fall, winter, or even Thanksgiving. Hope this video helps, guys, and comment down below and subscribe. Bye!